Hello everybody, welcome back to the Abingdon Co channel. My name's Abingdon, and if you're just checking out this channel for the first time, then welcome. And if you've been here before, then you know what we're going to be doing today. I'm going to be opening up 3 watches that have come through our doors, and we're going to go through them and see what the issues are. Come along and we will go through several watches. First one's first. The way I usually do this is we get a package in the mail. I'll open it. I have no idea what is in the package, and we'll just kind of go from there and see what we get. So let's see. It says, when I had the battery replaced, I was warned that if I let the watch run as was, it would shred the guts. Advised to return it to the mothership. You can see that the date frame is just kind of hanging out up against the glass right there. So when it says that if they wore the watch as was, it would shred the guts, chances are what they're talking about is they are talking about the hands catching the date frame and then potentially doing damage, because those hands swivel on a post, right? So if they're swiveling on a post and they catch that date frame and they try to move around, and the date frame prevents them from doing that, then it could do some damage to the movement. What we'll do is I can definitely take a look at the inside, check to see if there's any other movement issues going on that would shred the guts, and then we'll change a battery and I can pass this off to a watch repair. I myself am not qualified to reattach a date frame, but our watch repairers are. So let's get into it. Now, one thing I'm also noticing is that this end piece is very loose. So you shouldn't be able to stick tweezers under there like that. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to remove this end piece, pinch it back, and then put it back on. Now, you'll notice that one, that's extremely dirty. I'm going to put that in the ionic cleanser. And 2, that guy can get replaced. These are wear and tear items, spring bars, and what we can do is we can just swap it out for a new one. I'm going to drop this in the ionic cleanser, and then we're going to get that all cleaned up, and then we'll put it back on. Now that we have this guy back, just a good wipe should do it. You might ask, well, what do you put in the ionic cleanser? I just put water. Normally, water just does the trick. Sometimes warm water if it's really, really bad. And sometimes I'll add a bit of jewelry cleaner to get out the rest of it. Now we can press the feet back into the position that they should be in and put it back on the watch. So I've got 2 pins, brand new. I've got the 2 end pieces. I've got the band. So the 2 end pieces now need to be squeezed a bit. The way you do that is you take a cloth, you wrap it around, and using needle nose pliers, because you don't want to scratch, that's why you wrap the piece around it. You just give it a little squeeze. Right back into position. End pieces, fixed. Those end pieces are super tight now. So the watch is cleaned. The chevron on the buckle aims towards 12, so we've got that. Now we can open up the watch. I don't want to scratch the case back. So a little piece of plastic goes a long way. Okay. It does look like we have worked on this watch before, 2015, 515, and 319. We did the battery changes. I'm guessing that we've probably done this at trade shows, because we do see Meg often at trade shows. So what I'm going to do to clean this up, here's the movement. It is a Miyota movement. And this takes a 364. Line up the slot with the stem on the crown, and you'll find that this cover will cover right over the battery. Nothing else seemed to be the issue with that battery change. I didn't see any problems in the watch. Movement inside, it looked good. So I'm going to tighten it fairly loosely, because I know the watch repairer is going to need to open it up to reattach the frame. So there is no sense in doing an in-depth deal. Okay. Let's see about watch number 2. It says the watch is not keeping time, losing several minutes to hours per 24-hour period. Prior to that, it kept perfect time. Okay, so let's see what's going on. Did notice that some debris came right out just as I loosened the case back, so I'm going to just wipe that away before I open it up so nothing gets fallen into the case. I'll of course still air it out, but that'll at least help a little bit. Excellent. Here's that last battery change that we have. That grime that you can see next to the gasket, I'm going to get out. Now this one has the Ronda movement in it. And you saw the first one that had the Miyota movement in it. The Ronda movement is a much easier, more intuitive movement. All right. So, first things first. So I place it in like so. I'll hold it down with my thumb, and I will move that arm away and then press it down into place. This watch had a movement change not that long ago, only 9 months ago. That's concerning. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to set this watch, and then I'm going to have my watch repairer look over it, put it on a cyclonic, which is a machine that quartz movements can go onto, and it measures just the accuracy of the movement. And we're going to take it from there and just make sure that there's nothing wrong internally with the watch. All right, last one. Okay, that's the cutest paperclip I've seen in a long time. All right, here we go. So it says, I've only had the watch for a few months and it's not keeping time. I assume it is the battery, but I'm not sure. I purchased it through My Pilot store in Scottsdale, Arizona. So we'll go through and make sure that everything is working well on it. But what sometimes can happen is that a retailer just leaves it on the shelf for a while before it gets shipped out. So potentially the battery could have been engaged if they did quality control when they received the watch. And if that's the case, then the watch has been running for a while, and the battery may have worn out by the time they shipped it out. Cool. So the watch is in really, really nice shape. Get the case back protector on the back, open it up. I've already given it kind of a wipe down, but it didn't really need much at all, not like the first two. And we'll see what's going on. Hopefully it is just a battery. And if it is, then this is going to be an easy one. Okay, so the movement looks great. There's nothing that I see that is a particular issue in this movement. So we'll take out the battery, put in a fresh battery, and then see how things go. There's your Energizer battery, 371. I highly recommend not touching the inside of a movement so that you don't do any unnecessary damage. Keep your hands protected, use soft tools, and just be ginger about it. All right, so I'm just going to change the time. Currently, the time is now 11:17. So let's go all the way around. Past 12. Date changed. Now we're in the hours of the morning. And we'll move that to 11:17. Now I'm going to reset this watch on the hour just so that I can make sure all of the hands line up directly with an hour. And that will be a much more precise time setting. But for now, at least we have that one done. Awesome. So thanks so much for joining me on this. I really, really enjoy going through watch repairs with you. So I hope that you learned something today about watch repair and just seeing the inside of a watch and how to do a battery change, and the fact that if I can do a battery change, you can totally do a battery change. So hopefully you did learn something. If you liked this, definitely go ahead and click the subscribe button, hit the bell notification next to it, and then you'll get notified of all of the future videos that we put out. We do a lot of videos on watches, watch repair, but we also do a lot of videos on adventures and our customers. Because as you know, if you're part of the Abingdon company, then you're a crew member, you're not a customer. And so we love going on adventures with crew members, showcasing what they do. If you're racing cars, if you're diving, if you're in the military, if you're, flying airplanes, or you're doing any type of adventure, these are watches for women who do more. So we are all about getting in your space, showcasing you and highlighting what you do. So if you have an idea for a video that you want to have us come out and do with you, then absolutely, we open that up to all the crew members. So you could be on our channel. And otherwise, if you like the watch videos, then we have a ton of watch videos as well about repair, about movements, about how to wear a watch, how to dress it up, what kind of bands go with what, and all that type of thing. So definitely stay tuned for our next episode. It's been a real pleasure having you with me on this episode, and I will see you on another watch repair video. Bye.